Yo, what's good? This your boy Derek Branch here of Saint Discussions on Strike 7 Sports. In today's video, I just want to go ahead and talk about NFL free agency period 2024 and how it relates to the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to go ahead and talk about, just go ahead and recap a few transactions that involve the Saints and a transaction that involves the Saints. Well, it doesn't involve the Saints, but it involves a team that plays the Saints in the NFC South and how that affects things going forward. But first, I want to talk about the news that came out. The first, I would say, transaction that was like reported that was Saints related in regards to free agency, and that's the Saints bringing back Demario Davis on a reworked deal of his his previous deal had no guarantees on it according to Adam Schefter. They're replacing it with a 2-year, $17.25 million deal that includes 13.25 million fully guaranteed, according to sources. Davis is 35 years old and now figures to finish his career in New Orleans. So there you have it. Demario Davis re-signed 2-year deal, will most likely finish his career as a New Orleans Saint, will not be going with any other um, team that may have interest in his services. So over the weekend, I believe around Saturday, around afternoon, 12-ish, I believe, maybe even earlier than that, there was a report that came out as told by the NFL Trade Rumors account, their Twitter account, and it was aggregating information put out by NFL reporter of the Washington Post, David Lacanforia, and that when he mentioned that the Saints were looking for a trade partner for Demario Davis and Marshawn Lattimore. And a lot of people, I would say like 3 to 5 Saints reporters came out and just immediately shut it down automatically. There was some that were, jumping off the bridge, stressing out, believing Lacanforia. And today's news shows that that was fake news, what Lacanforia put out. Now, this is my first time talking about it. This is my first time reacting to it because I don't react immediately to every bit of Saints rumor that is put out, Saints trade rumor that is put out by these reporters at the national level, because every time that the Saints are not having a successful season, they don't make the playoffs, these reporters from the national level tend to bring these rumors out about trading Saints players. And that's what they want you to do. They want the fan base to respond. They want the fan base to have, anxiety, angst, or bitterness based on these reports, so that because that builds engagement. And I'm not like that. I don't react to everything right away. And like I said, like I predicted, like I thought, the Saints were gonna bring back Demario Davis. Now he's 35 years old and he's still playing at a relatively high level in his career as his time winds down with the Saints. I still prefer the younger players on this team to step up. And that starts with the draft, man. Saints got to hit on these draft picks, man. The last year's draft, year prior to that draft, and this year's draft is going to be important because these 3 drafts are going to be needed to usher in your future, because these guys are getting no younger. Demario Davis, um, Cam Jordan, Alvin Kamara is still young, but at his age for a running back, that's when decline starts to kick in. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Ramczyk, he's dealing with injuries. consistently, repeatedly. Hopefully he's okay going to this upcoming season. The younger guys got to step up, you know. But I'm glad that he's coming. Demario Davis is coming back because this team needs leadership, man. It needs leadership on the defensive side. It needs leadership, period, based on everything that has occurred in these last couple of days with the whole Michael Thomas situation. You know, it is what it is. In other news, it was reported that Zach Bond, Saints linebacker, is now signing with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, that didn't make people happy. That ticked a lot of people off as well because we feel as though people feel as though this man spent what 4 seasons here, 4 seasons with the Saints, 3 to 4 seasons with the team since 2020, and they struggle to put him in his role that he played in Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? He was a pass rusher in Wisconsin. I watched his footage. The dude went after the quarterback. He was not a traditional 3-down linebacker. He wasn't a conventional linebacker. He was an edge rusher. They brought him off the edge. Now, for Saints purposes, you can present an argument of this guy, he's undersized to be on the Saints defensive line. He would have got gobbled up in the run. Zach Bond is more of a 3-4 guy. He's a 3-4 linebacker. Like if you had to send him to if you had to go to places like New England, Tampa Bay, he would kill it. No questions. But you live and you learn, you know. Um, I don't know what Sean Payton and Dennis Allen, Jeff Allen was thinking when they made this, when they moved up I believe they moved assets to get Zach Bond in the third round. When they selected Zach Bond, I don't know what they were thinking. I guess they were believing that maybe we can take him out of his role, the role that he's accustomed to playing in college, and he can play a traditional linebacker role, which was not the case because Zach Bond was not good in coverage. But when they started to utilize him in his Wisconsin role, this is when he started to see success. And I knew that once he starts to have an ounce of production, teams was going to start taking notice and sign him away from the team, from the Saints. And that's what happened today. Going to Philadelphia, really good football team. They signed Saquon Barkley today. They're reloading. So he's going to a good team. He's going to a contender. A team that's, I would say, might be in better shape than the Saints. But we'll see once the season kicks off. So I wish him nothing but the best. I'm not mad. Things happen for a reason. It is what it is. You know, we got to move on. We got to find, the next guy. Hopefully, we don't make that same mistake again. You know, but we'll see how it play out, man, in the future. Draft coming up. All right. And other news, Avante Maddux is visited the Saints today, according to the reports put out from Nick Underhill, as told by Nick Underhill, the Eagles veteran corner, played with the team since 2018. They released him last week after he spent 6 seasons with the Eagles. Injuries limited him to just 4 games in 2023. And Maddux recorded a total of 12 tackles with 2 passes defended and a forced fumble. Maddux, 27, last got through a season healthy in 2021 when he appeared in 16 games with 5 starts. In 64 games, Maddux has 31 passes defended, 4 interceptions, and 8 forced fumbles. He was a 4th-round pick. He was a 4th-round pick in 2018. So there you have it. Avante Maddux, my bad. Avante Maddux visited the Saints today. on a free agent visit. So they're saying that his last healthy season was 2021, which was 2 seasons ago. So my thoughts on this is that a lot of people are speculating about this visit. Some people are saying, "What's going to happen? Does this mean the end of Marshawn Lattimore?" I don't know. Out of all the rumors that are coming out on the Saints, the Marshawn Lattimore stuff concerns me to a certain extent. It just does. Because when Nick Underhill wrote that article back around, I think, November or December timeframe, when he restructured that contract, and he was stating that the way that contract is set up, it opens the door for him being traded. That didn't come from nowhere. That he had that ammunition. He don't you don't make ammunition. You don't get ammunition to make stories like that from out of nowhere. It had to come from somebody. But we'll see how it play out. I'm not knowing a lot about Avante Maddux during his time with the Eagles. He's a really good slot corner. Veteran player, 27 years old, really good in the slot. My thing is the health. You know what I'm saying? Can he stay healthy? Now, the other way you can look at this is that you move Alontae Taylor to the outside. And that's if you're gonna trade Lattimore, push him out to the outside, put Avante Maddox in the slot, have Paulson Debo on the other side. That's the other way to look at it. But we just gotta wait and see how things can play with the Lattimore stuff, man. I don't suspect a trade to occur right now. I don't expect nothing to happen even leading up to the draft, to the night of the draft, because like I mentioned in the previous video, his cap number is gonna hurt the team, man. If you move him right now, you move him post June 1st, where there's cap relief, it helps you financial wise, but you drafting players, you getting assets for next year's draft, not this year's draft. You need help for this upcoming season, you know, and maybe it is that bad between Lattimore and Dennis Allen. I hope it's not. Hopefully they can work this stuff out, man. A lot based on the driving cause of this trade stuff being mentioned is his availability. He hasn't been available the past couple of seasons due to injury. That's what they felt as though he could have came back at a he could have came back and played. Wow, but Lattimore felt as though he needed more time to rehab, to get better, to heal up. So they're not seeing eye to eye on that. So if he gets traded prior to June 1st, it must have been that bad. It must have escalated the situation. It got worse. But I hope that's not the case, man. But Avante Maddox, man, if he can stay healthy, I think he'd be enough. He would get the job done in the slot situation. I think, but we'll see. All right. And other news today, the the Atlanta Falcons signed Kirk Cousins on a 4-year deal. 4-year deal, up to $40 million guaranteed. So, with that being said, things got a little interested in the NFC South. Now, my question to y'all is, how concerned are you about having Kirk Cousins in NFC South now? How concerned are you? Do you feel as though the Saints or the Falcons are now the better team in the division? Are they now the favorites to run away with it? Think about it. Dude is coming off. He's coming off. Kirk Cousins is coming off a torn ACL injury at an older age, 35, 36 years old, I believe. Is he that much of an upgrade? Is he that much of a threat to the Saints? You know? Also, look at it this way, man. The way this is how I see it with Kirk Cousins. I think this is Matt Ryan all over again. This is the second coming of Matt Ryan. And why I said it, Kirk Cousins signing with the Falcons is the second coming of Matt Ryan, because when Matt Ryan has weapons, good play calling, good head coach, he's a really good quarterback. He won the MVP in 2016. He's a very good quarterback when he has the right play calling and the weapons. And then there are going to be some years where he's not good at all. He puts up empty calorie stats, but they don't get to the playoffs. And that's what I think Kirk Cousins is for the Falcons. And I'm not overly concerned about Kirk Cousins coming into the division compared to when Tom Brady came in with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just didn't like Brady in the division because of his influence and his resume. I know that with a team having Brady on the team, he has power, he has influence to get other players to join the team that he's on. You know, because the team that he's on is going to make the necessary moves, necessary salary cap moves to go find elite talent. And that's why I didn't like Brady coming to the NFC South, even though the Saints had some success against him. And that's why I didn't want it. But Kirk Cousins coming here, I'm not really that concerned because, like I said, this is Matt Ryan all over again to me. Matt Ryan 2.0. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I think I mentioned this last week in the live stream. I think Minnesota has the better roster than Atlanta. Atlanta's roster is not bad, but they don't have a Justin Jefferson. They don't have a Jordan Addison. I know Minnesota's looking for a running back right now, but you had you know, TJ Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, former LSU Tiger, Jordan Addison, Cousins. You know what I'm saying? Defense was getting better under Brian Flores. Because if he had came back to Minnesota, that team would have been nasty next season. All Minnesota needs now is a quarterback. That's a really good football team he was going back to if he had re-signed with Minnesota. But now he is in Atlanta, and the Falcons are expected by many people to win the division as the favorites now, because all you gotta do in the NFC South is be mid. You can be mid to okay to elite, and you will win this division. Now the division has Cousins, Baker Mayfield, Derek Carr, Bryce Young, who goes into his second year. Things have got interesting in NFC South, but it's not, to me, this ain't me sounding like a homer, as I said in the past. This does not mean it's the end for the Saints. For real. And they very well win the division. I think they played against the AFC West. You know, like they have an identical set schedule as the Saints, but we'll have to go back and check. But they may very well win this division. But there's still a path, like I said, there's still a path for the Saints to get into the playoffs. And that will have to be by the wild card, by way of the wild card. You know, I want to be surprised if we're in the Saints are in that very same scenario coming up in this next upcoming season. You 9-8, 10-7, hover around there. You may get to the playoffs. You might not get to the playoffs. That 9-8 record does not guarantee you anything. You can get into the playoffs or you might not get to the playoffs. It's 50-50, you know. But I'm not really like all too bothered by Cousins coming into the division. Now, all of a sudden, people are treating this guy like he's elite now. They are. I haven't seen so much people hate for Kirk Cousins like I've seen in these last couple of days. They really are. And Kirk Cousins only been to the playoffs with this team with Dodge's career. He been to the playoffs. Went to the playoffs one time with the Commanders back in the day, and he when he signed with the Vikings. He went to the playoffs twice. Got one victory, which was against the Saints again when Kyle Rudolph pushed off. They didn't throw a flag. Other than that, man, he has been okay. He has been mid, and he has made a lot of money for being mid. I think he's made more money than Drew Brees, and Drew Brees has done far more than Kirk Cousins. Far more than Kirk Cousins, you know. But this dude has made. I think I was reading today that this guy has made over $400 million in career earnings. $400 million for being okay, for being mid. And people are acting like he's all of a sudden an elite quarterback. Some people, not everybody, are treating this like he's an elite quarterback. But then again, in the NFC South, you could be mid. You could be a mid quarterback, a mid to okay quarterback and win the division. You might even win a playoff game. Baker Mayfield did it, you know. But this doesn't mean it's the end of the world for the Saints. I don't see it like that. I really don't. Um, we may when the Saints play the Atlanta in the regular season, they may split the series or somebody might get swept. Who knows? And we might play them again in the playoffs. So we might play them 3 times. You know, that's how close it could get. You know what I'm saying? But it's not the end of the world for the Saints, man. We free agency has just started, and people are already saying what the Saints are doing, why they're not doing anything. People say this every year, and the Saints do this every year. Saints never make big splashes on the first week of free agency. First 1 or 2 weeks of free agency, Saints don't make any splashes. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do tomorrow. I mean, it depends. So we'll see how everything plays out going forward. Okay. All right. So I have y'all for right now, man. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel. How do you feel about Avante Maddux signing with the team? Are you concerned about Kirk Cousins coming to the NFC South? Do you think the Falcons are now the favorites to win the division? Or do you still believe in the Saints' chances of winning the NFC South? Also, check out strike7sports.com/Saints for today's content on the All Saints organization. Have a blessed day. Peace. I'm out. Who that?